The agent of a Man United star has come out and called out Erik ten Hag, saying it's unlikely his player will play again for United if ten Hag is here, saying he's treated him unfairly. One Man United star is set to leave, and Isak Hansen Aaron on a permanent, which I'm really disappointed about. We will dive into that. And will there be a buyback clause? Will there be a sell-on clause in that deal? Interestingly, Dan Ashworth is going a bit quiet, and a new name has arose as maybe a potential Manchester United director of football, someone we've not been linked to before. Who is that? But also, Manchester United fans seem to be in a little bit of outrage at the moment over some comments that Ten Hag made in regards to Rashford and Sancho, which I don't really get it, but we'll dive into that. And then, of course, the Wolves preview, Manchester United starting lineup versus Wolves. But let's get into the third story, which is what Facundo Pellistri's agent has said on Ten Hag. Facundo Pellistri's agent said this: If Ten Hag continues, it's going to be difficult. Ten Hag hasn't used him, valued him, or treated him like a professional. That was Pellistri's agent on if he'll return in the summer. He said he has a loan that the boy decided to go on. All of Manchester United knew, and Ten Hag summoned him against a fourth division team and didn't use him. Facundo Pellistri's agent has been very frustrated of Ten Hag's treatment of Pellistri. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't think Pellistri will be good enough for United. He's 22. I think he's okay. But there's no doubt in my mind he would have been better than Anthony. I don't think he's long-term going to be United standard. I think he's going to be a good player. I could see him being a Fulham player. Do you know what I mean? But he's not had enough chances when you think about how bad Anthony has been. And he is better than Anthony, in my opinion. And I would rather see him play over Anthony. And I have that frustration that Pellistri, the fact that we kept him around, should have been given more minutes. You know, Forson coming on over Pellistri and Ahmed. Obviously, Pellistri was going to go. But there's many times where Pellistri would then get 2 minutes on the pitch. And for me, wasn't given long enough. So I do kind of get that frustration. I think Ten Hag doesn't particularly rate Pellistri, and I feel sorry for Pellistri because he's sort of another player that's sort of been kept at United because we didn't do our recruitment. So we've had to kind of keep someone that Ten Hag doesn't want just in case there's injuries, and he's sort of been kept as a depth player. So I do have a bit of sympathy for Pellistri there, but I want to dive through the news because there's lots to get through, and these are the new director of football candidates. It's been said that Ineos have narrowed their search for Manchester United's new sporting director and are focusing on foreign influence. Bayern Munich's Christian Freund, outgoing official of Roma Thiago Pinto, and former RB Leipzig director Max Eberl are being considered. And I believe that Rangnick actually did suggest Max Eberl, but that still is unlikely because I believe he's going to move to Bayern Munich next season, which could suggest that maybe Freund of Bayern Munich is the most likely. As I said in my video yesterday, or live stream yesterday, I said that I got a few names that were linked to me, and one of them was Christian Freund, and then I spoke about Lee Congerton and a few other players that I've been hearing sort of doing the loop. But as I said, I think for me, I'm a big fan of the Bayern Munich one. I'm a big fan of the RB clubs one. I'm a big fan of Dan Ashworth. With Omar Barada coming in, I trust Ineos to get the right person for the director of football role. I assume we're going to hear something very, very soon. It's now being said that Paul Mitchell and Dan Ashworth are unlikely, so maybe Ineos do have something else in mind. I do want to say that this has come out from Miguel Delaney, and I personally don't think that Miguel Delaney is the best source of information or the most reliable. He's a lot better than the Star and the Sun, and he's not a complete BS person, but he's definitely in that sort of lower tier 2, tier 3 bracket. He's not tier 1. Now, talking of tier 1 information, we've got a here we go for, of course, Hansen leaving and Pellistri going on loan. Good news is that Granada will pay all of Pellistri's wages in full, and they paid a fee for him, which is good. We finally didn't get mugged off on the loan, but Pellistri actually has decent wages, unlike most of our players. It was said that Isak Hansen's close to leaving United, but German sources saying he's on the verge of joining Werder Bremen today, and United have given the green light for this move. And Jack Talbot said that Man United have injected favourable terms, significant add-ons, and a high sell-on clause, matching rights in the detail. And Rich Fay, who's probably been the best source of information throughout this Hansen Aaron situation, I think maybe he's being briefed by their side, has been very accurate with his information and Hansen Aaron's frustrations and why he might go, said there's a significant future sell-on clause included in Isak Hansen Aaron's to Werder Bremen deal, and Manchester United would also like to have the right to match any future bid made for him. And look, Isak Hansen Aaron for me is in that Kobbie Mainoo Garnacho category of youth players. He's, in terms of technical ability, in terms of how good he is, I think he's absolutely incredible. And for me, I think we've bottled this one. I think like this is one of those players. I know that not every Man United youth star is going to make it, but for me, this was one of those players that was right at the top, a lot better than some of the other players who will be given opportunities like McTominay, in my opinion. Obviously, very different role to McTominay, but for me, I think this guy could go right to the top. He's Norway's highest rated talent. I think it's a shame we're losing him. I think Ten Hag should have included him. He should have put him in the matchday squads. But there are reports that Ten Hag doesn't think he's strong enough for the Premier League, and people saying, well, Maino's taken this role. But I just think with the injuries we've had in the field, I think he should have at least come off the bench and be given a debut. And I think the frustrating thing about the Hansen Aaron news and the Alvaro Fernandez news is they were two of our highest rated academy players, and they didn't even get a debut. It's like they didn't even get a chance to play and prove themselves, which I find frustrated. Now I want to get into some comments that's upset some Manchester United fans. And Eric Ten Hag was asked why Rashford has been treated differently to Sancho, and he said we can sort everything out internally, but Sancho chose to go public. And people are freaking out over this, saying Ten Hag's a liar, Ten Hag's a liar. I don't know why Ten Hag's getting stick for this. I think Rashford should have been treated more harshly, but one, Rashford apologised, two, Sancho didn't apologise. But one, the Rashford thing got made public. Ten Hag spoke about it in a press conference, and so spoke about it before the Newport game and said it's an internal matter, and dealt with the Rashford thing. With the Sancho thing, Ten Hag again, said the same, that Sancho wasn't playing because he just wasn't showing the levels in training, and Sancho went on a public rant. Sancho could have just not said anything, not put a statement online, and dealt with this privately with Eric Ten Hag, but he didn't. Rashford was dropped. He didn't put a statement online, or he'd look like an absolute knobhead if he put a statement online. And I get to an extent that Sancho had more of a reason to come out and put a statement out because he thought that Ten Hag was lying. But at the end of the day, both matters should have been dealt with in-house. Both matters were made public because it's Manchester United. But Rashford kept his private, and Sancho went on social media to call out Eric Ten Hag within 1 minute of us losing. And for me, what was unacceptable about Sancho was we just lost to Arsenal. Within 5 minutes, he puts that statement out when he knows the mood is bad. And then he said he'll do anything to play for United again, but then won't apologise and refuses to play for us for 4 months. Rashford apologised. Rashford didn't put a statement out against the manager online. That's why Rashford has not been treated as harshly as Sancho. I think Rashford deserved more of a punishment. I think Rashford's behaviour has been unacceptable. But I don't know why people are getting so angry at Ten Hag over this comment. Explain it to me. Explain it to me what I'm missing if you disagree with me. It was also said that Eric Ten Hag, when asked if sends the wrong message if he picks Rashford to start tomorrow, and he said, I didn't pick him Sunday. We draw a line from that point, we move on. I think I wouldn't have started him versus Wolves because I think missing Newport County is missing Newport County. I don't think it's that deep, to be honest. But talking of the Wolves game, talking of the lineup, I'm going to go on to the predicted lineup for Manchester United versus Wolves. Onana will be back in goal. I'd be very surprised if we saw Bayindir. Wan-Bissaka's got a knock at the moment, I believe. So I believe the fullbacks will be Delo and Luke Shaw. Hopefully we're not rushing Luke Shaw, Martinez, a lot of these players back in here. In terms of the centre-backs, I think it will be Martinez. I'm just going to not do caps lock because it keeps coming up on the screen. And Varane. Martinez and Varane will be the centre-backs. I wouldn't be surprised if Maguire gets back on the bench as he's sort of close to his return, but I think Martinez and Varane will be the centre-backs there. I actually think it will almost be an unchanged squad from, of course, the game versus Newport County. And I think Ten Hag just wanted to warm up that squad and play them together. And I think it will be Casemiro, Maino, Bruno. But there is a small part of me that thinks he's going to play McTominay here. McTominay would swap with Maino. There's a small part of me that thinks he's going to play McTominay ahead of Casemiro because Casemiro's just come back from being out for a while and might want to warm him up. So there is a small part of me that thinks that this could be the midfield. On the right, I'm going to assume it's going to be... You know what, actually? Part of me thinks he's going to unchange it, but on the right, I'm going to assume it's going to be Garnacho, and on the left, I assume it's going to be Rashford. I like to see Garnacho on the right because that way then he seems to put crosses in. And then, of course, Højlund's going to play up top because Martial is injured. I believe that will be the lineup, but I don't think there'll be many changes, but I think he'll bring Rashford back in and start him. I think he's desperate to win. And then I think in terms of other players, I think like Casemiro, maybe he'll bring McTominay in because he likes McTominay. But I think that is the lineup Ten Hag will go with. Let me know what lineup you'd go with. I'd pretty much go with that. I'd probably go with the lineup that we played versus Newport County and then just replace Anthony for Ahmad. I would have had Anthony right wing, Ahmad right wing, Garnacho left wing. Personally, myself, even though we didn't do great in the Newport County game, Wan-Bissaka's not available as far as I'm aware. Maybe McTominay will play. We'll have to wait and see. But please do hit that like button. I hope you found this news roundup video informing. Let me know your thoughts on the news. See you next time. Bye.